Hey guys, sure by the title of the video you already know what this is about, but something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and that's small knives, and pretty much not just talk about small knives. I want to talk about how they're underrated, and people just seem to look over them. When I bought the Dragonfly, which was just recently, within the last month, it really changed my views on small knives and made me realize that they're extremely useful and extremely underrated. Normally, I've been a big folder guy, like a military and recently the tilt and just big knives, pretty much. I would even call the Para 2 kind of a big knife, even though it's small in the world of folders. It's kind of on the smaller side. But I started carrying a Dragonfly. I carried it for a little while. Now it's my fiance's knife. I gave it to her. But I had a Benchmade mini grip I carried for a little while, and most recently this Spyderco Native 5. And that's probably my favorite small knife that I've ever used. I really, really like it. I can't say enough good things about the Native 5. It's just the perfect shape for me. I love this choil right here. I love the steel. It just fits my hand perfectly. I absolutely love this knife. But the thing with small knives is that they're vastly, vastly underrated. A lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, and I expect a bunch of thumbs downs and all that kind of bullshit. I really don't care. But to me, big knives can't do the tasks that small knives can do very effectively. But small knives can do small knife tasks and big knife tasks, to me, in my opinion. Say I'm trying to open a clamshell package, and let's see, let me grab a bigger knife. I actually don't have one. I don't have a bigger knife. I wanted to grab a military, but I don't have it handy. Oh yeah, I do. Hang on. Sorry about that. Let's say I have a Spyderco military, and I just got something, maybe a sharpening stone or something like that. I don't know. And it's in a clamshell package. I don't know if you've ever tried to open a clamshell package with a big knife, but it's kind of clumsy and it's just kind of flat out dangerous. This tip, when you're way back here on the knife, even if you choke up, you just don't have a lot of control over that tip. If you're trying to puncture into a clamshell and you happen to slip off, it's such a big knife that you really have a lot of inertia built up, and it kind of just, you have a risk of stabbing yourself, honestly. It's just clumsy to open a clamshell package or really do any fine tasks with a blade this big. It doesn't matter how you hold it, I don't care. Unless you're doing this with a knife, it's just hard to keep control over it. So, in my day-to-day tasks, I do more small knife stuff than I do large knife stuff. Take that same scenario, I'm trying to open a clamshell package, and I just hook in the choil right here and grab the blade. I have perfect control over where that tip goes. And if it just so happens to skip off and not puncture, then I don't have a lot of inertia built up because it's just a small knife. I'm at the front. I have a lot of control. So that's why I'm starting to lean towards small knives. The big knives, they don't have the, I don't know, they're not as delicate. They can't do the delicate tasks as well as the smaller knives. And that's why I say that big knives can't do small knives tasks, but I think small knives can do big knives tasks. Say you're wanting to cut a tomato, and this is all just, it's all just for the sake of demonstration. I haven't really done these things, but say you're trying to cut a tomato, sure, the nice big blade is perfect for that. But if you really wanted to, you could get through that tomato with this knife. You would just have to cut and rotate and cut and rotate. You get what I'm saying. You can make a small knife work for bigger tasks. It doesn't have to be a big knife to do those big knife tasks. And that's really what the whole point of this video is. A lot of people just completely overlook small knives because they think that, well, smaller knife means that it's going to have less utility. I'm not going to be able to do the same thing with a small knife that I could with a big knife. And that's just not true. I carry a Sabenza, I've been carrying it, but what I reach for the most, even if I have a pair too and a Sabenza, is the little Native 5, because you just have more control over what you're doing with a smaller knife. Another thing about small knives is you have less blade, so when it does come time to sharpen or touch it up, it takes you much less time, and it's much easier to do that. So I just really like small knives, and I think a lot of other people would like small knives if they just gave them a chance. Like I said, I was predominantly a big knife guy for the whole time I've been into knives, pretty much. I never really thought the military was big. People always complain, it's so big, and hell, it was just a regular knife to me. So, always been into big knives, but now I've kind of gone the opposite way. Another thing about small knives is they're not intimidating. If I'm sitting, which I often do, in the computer lab at the university, I'm always flipping a knife. I really don't care that I'm in public. There are no knife laws on my campus, so I'm flicking knives. I'm sitting at a computer, flicking a knife. I've never gotten weird looks, but if somebody did look at me crazy for flipping this big knife, I could understand why. This small knife just doesn't seem as intimidating. I mean, it's kind of small, so it's not going to raise as many flags as one of the bigger folders. And I know that we're knife people, we shouldn't bow down to what non-knife people want to see, but just for the sake of not wanting to be bugged about it, a small knife is better. I'm not really sure I hit home with all the points I wanted to make. I'm sure if I didn't, I'll end up making another video soon. But let me know what y'all think about this, because I know a lot of you will probably disagree with me, and that's fine. But I really just wish I would have... It would have saved me a lot of money if I would have had this view a little bit sooner. There's one thing I wanted to say. I actually can't remember now. But my whole point of this video is that small knives can do the stuff that big knives can do. And they can do it a lot more safely for EDC tasks. Honestly, ask yourself, what do you need a military for in your day-to-day tasks? And if you say, well, I carry it because I might need it for something, I might need a big knife, that's perfectly fine. That's cool with me. But if you're one of those people that says that I couldn't do my EDC tasks without a big knife, then drop me a comment and tell me what your EDC tasks are. Because honestly, I can't think of anything a modern person needs to do throughout the day that would warrant carrying a huge knife. I'm not saying you shouldn't carry a huge knife, because obviously I like them. But realistically, small knives can do most EDC tasks, I think, more than well enough. Hope I didn't offend anybody with this. I'm still going to carry big knives because I like them. But with my EDC tasks, when I need to do something, open a letter, cut a straw, we have like 3-foot long straws on campus if you get a fountain drink. And I always cut about 6 inches off those. I don't need a military to cut a straw. I don't need a military to open a letter. I don't need a military to trim a string or open a clamshell package. So that's the whole point of this video. Like I said, drop me a comment, let me know what you think. If it sounds stupid as hell or you agree with me. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to make this super long, so I guess I'll let you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.